How are we? Look, listen, before I start, I want to say a massive thank you to the 3,000 or so that have already downloaded the letter and sent it to their local MPs. I do feel a real positive buzz around the fitness industry at the moment. You know, there is a very solid argument that we have to put forward. We are in different times now. When we first went into lockdown, there was very little data, we had very little understanding of this virus. As those months continued, we managed to collate a lot of data from not only the UK, from UK Active, from Smart Active, in Europe. We had the study done in Norway. It is very apparent that gyms are incredibly safe. You are more likely to catch this virus going to your local Tesco than you are training in your gym. And for the positive psychological, emotional, physical benefits, along with financial, 200 billion per year, thousands of jobs within the leisure and fitness industry, it seems absurd to close. But I'm going to contact Lucy Allen today, who's very pro-gym staying open. Tanny Gray Thompson has done a fantastic letter to Boris, that said 4 days ago, you said if there is higher restrictions and we do go into lockdown, gyms are exempt. Now I'm hoping that the reason why he made this quite harsh statement on Saturday was because of the leak, and that there was no sort of affirmative points made. So I'm hoping that on Wednesday when they discuss, we can create enough noise that can potentially put us in favour and keep our leisure facilities and gyms open. But continue to fight. We're in a very good position. If it doesn't work out, and it doesn't work out, we will make adjustments, and I'll be releasing plenty of content for those that are training at home. But there's a part of me that thinks gyms are just going to stay open anyway. There's Gaines Bedford, the guys up in Liverpool, Crayford, Muscleworks. I'm sure are just going to say, look, let's just keep the doors open, and if we can do that for five or so days, create enough momentum, news reporters, it gets out there, we can make some. Look what happened in Liverpool. They kept their doors open. Fair play, and God bless Nick and Nathan. Fantastic, phenomenal. It really was so endearing to see. When you are in a position where financially it's cheaper to take a fine than it is to close the gym. The system's broken. But keep on the fight. Keep messaging your local MP. Ring them, email them, send them letters. Let's get this. So what we'll do is, as I mentioned in previous videos, every time Callum makes adjustments to my nutrition, I want to give you guys and girls an insight into what those changes look like with food. But first we'll start with some supplementation updates. A lot of people ask on Instagram all the time, what's the best pre-workout? What are you taking intra-workout? Nothing changed from an intra-workout perspective. We still have the cyclodextrin from Foresight, Recarb, phenomenal, value for money as well, fantastic. My EAA doesn't change, so the intra EAA plus by supplement needs combined with the electrolyte. There are a decent amount of electrolytes inside the intra EAA. When I train fasted, I'll have 2 scoops. When I train fed, I'll have 1 scoop. So today I've had my first meal, I'll only use 1 scoop of the electrolytes. And then I have my 5 grams of creatine monohydrate from Perform that I also use on rest days. So rest days when you don't train, just have 5 grams in the morning. On to the juicy stuff, the pre-workouts. Now, I'm a big MV Pre fan. It's a phenomenal pre-workout. It's the go. It's always in the cupboard, but there are occasions when pre-workouts come on the market that may be slightly better. We've got 2. So I have my daily pre that I use for the majority of my session, which is Naughty Boy. This is the new grape flavour for Halloween edition. I grabbed this yesterday. Very much looking forward to trying this. I haven't had any caffeine for about 7 days, so I'm going to respond, I'm sure, very, very quickly to it. And then we have the pre-workout, the sort of FUBAR category, the one that we use very rarely. Josh was using this, he said I had to cycle off it. My anxiety on the way to the gym was too much. It's very strong, and I'm very much with him. It is one of those pre-workouts you take and you're in the car and you are like, €10 water, goes to the smoking area, I feel a little unsettled here. Panel-wise, it's packed, it is absolutely jam-packed, and it's not something that I'd recommend you use as an everyday pre-workout. For our leg sessions on a Friday, I'll use a scoop, half a scoop, and occasionally for a big pressing movement like our OHP, I'll grab half a scoop or a scoop. But yeah, that's just a little insight. Daily pre, Naughty Boy, fantastic. And for those sessions that I need a little bit more oomph, I'll have the Alpha Gen. This is the grape. I hope it's good, man. The Insight Menace is unreal. It's it's a decent grape. It's not blowing me away, that. That is a very KA, very KA. Move forward a bit, mate, use your head, because no one's using their head anymore, are they? Nah. It's like a KA grape, it's quite a soft grape. It's time for some post-workout. Okay, post-workout, ladies and gents. My primary concern here is to get in a sufficient amount of carbohydrates and protein that's palatable and easy to digest. So you'll see me in these off seasons relying quite heavily on some whey protein. I am still consuming my meats, but I'm getting a good couple of scoops per day from whey. So we're having 1 scoop of whey. We've got 50 grams of Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios?
You put my toast up, sorry.
Rewind. Honey Cheerios. Here's the thing with sourdough, it's inability to sort of toast it evenly. Anyway, back to our scene. Honey Cheerios, we've got 50 grams, we've got 2 of the Rice Krispies squares, we've got 2 crumpets and jam, and we've got some fruit, just some micros to finish off with from this morning. I'm off to my mother's, pick up a couple of parcels. Talking of parcels, my scuff controller came the other day. Really excited, then all of a sudden Dr. Disrespect released it, he's just released his one. So I'm going to do a giveaway for my current scuff when a Dr. Disrespect scuff comes. Also, my new Xbox is coming next week. So I'm thinking of bringing the stream back for lockdown. Something to do, innit? Something to do. Do a little Xbox unboxing. We've got Honduras and we've got Mexican. And a Call of Duty Warzone t-shirt. Can't remember who messaged me the other day and said, look, I'll send you one. Gulag Champions. Don't worry, you're blurry, you can't really see your face.
Don't care.
Now, Mum, you're a psychiatric nurse and have been for how many years?
33.
The first lockdown, how was the response in terms of people's mental health? I mean, I'm not talking about my industry, about fitness, we know that, but in terms of your patients, did we see increases in depression, anxiety?
Pretty poor. It was awful. People who have a susceptibility to depression or anxiety that were just about stabilised got significantly worse with the deprivations and the restrictions, which makes us all a lot busier and having to respond to a lot more crises. So not good.
First hand. Keep the gyms open, Boris. Okay, ladies and gents, let's talk health supplementation, but first we are getting meal number 3 ready, which is just nice and easy. So what I do is I put my 2 cod or haddock fillets alongside my 300 grams of the naked oven chips. Bang that in the oven, nice and simple, bit of salad. Whilst that's cooking, I can get on with some work. Bing, timer goes off and I'm back down. So nice and easy meal. In terms of health supplementation at the moment, because we are essentially on a blast, what I tend to do is take the full serving of the sort of supplement needs health trifecta, which is the CV stack, Astrag Flow and the liver stack. So when I'm on a cruise, generally blood work is okay anyway, so I'll just sort of ensure that there is some improvements if they need to be made when we are on a cruise by using like half a serving, and then when we go into a full blast I'll use the full serving, which is 6 for the CV stack and 8 for liver and Astrag. I'll kind of split that up throughout the day. I'm also taking supplement E's glutathione. Again, powerhouse, fantastic antioxidant, especially those that are consuming or are on a cycle that is quite sort of oral dependent, and you know, if you've got a couple of orals into the mix, and liposomal curcumin. Picked this up a while back when I was having some inflammation issues when we were doing all that pushing work. So those are the two, and then I have my vitamin D and K2 spray. This is from Holland and Barrett. I grabbed this, and it's especially vital now we are getting into these horrible winter weeks, these winter months. I'm making a massive effort to get as much daylight in as possible. You know, so when I wake up, all the blinds in the house are open. Especially if you are working from home, get as much daylight in as possible. Otherwise, you see those sort of that impede negatively on your sleep. So a big driver of getting as much light in. And then after this meal, I tend to, just before sunset, go for like a 20-minute walk around the block, just to again soak in as much as possible. Meal number 4 going in. We're rotating. I'm in a right fucking mood. I'm so fucked off. Saw Boris on Sky News just deflect every viable remark and comment surrounding gyms. Every credible source, the local MPs that have said they've got letters and messages from their local constituents, us lot. Deflect. One MP said, can Boris even give us the science on why gyms are closed? And he said, yeah, sure. There is no science as to why the gyms would close. Honestly, I cannot put into words how angry I am at how incompetent this government is. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Just as everyone started to get back to normal, you know, how you cannot understand the psychological, mental health and physical benefits, the emotional well-being, you know, and there's females that are now scared to go out and do exercise because it's getting dark and they want to go to the gym where it's, honestly to God, it fucking, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Oh, anyway, meal number 4. We are rotating carbohydrate sources as they have increased. Now we're on 500 grams of carbs per day. On a training day, I have taken the chicken and rice meal out and gone for chicken and pasta. So when carbohydrates tend to get into that 500 plus region, the ability to kind of consume pasta, it goes down really easily. That's, I always refer to it as like a wet carbohydrate. Chicken, pasta with a sauce goes down really easily compared to sort of a pack of rice. And then what we'll do is we'll just chill out, and then we'll have our final meal of the day, which again will be quite similar to post-workout, where we'll have some crumpets, a couple of Rice Krispie squares, some whey protein and some fruit as well. Get those micros in. Meal number 5 going in. We have a nice, again, easy to digest meal. We've got our 4 crumpets, a little bit of jam, a couple of Rice Krispie squares, a lot of fruit, and I tend to consume this around about an hour and a half to 2 hours before bed. I have noticed, you know, we mentioned about ensuring we're getting enough daylight. The occasions where sometimes my sleep quality is slightly poor is when I've had my food close to the point of when I'm going to bed. So another thing, just to, I'm not in a good headspace, you know. I'm in a bit of a bad headspace tonight, I'll be honest. I just like, I feel a bit, I don't know, fucking all over the gaff. You forget how important it is, like, because people listening to this that I don't go to the gym, I think, oh, get over it, it's only 4 weeks out of the gym, but it's like, and it's incredibly selfish, I know, but at the same time, I feel like I'm really trying to push for everyone else to try and get the the letters to the MPs and trying to raise as much awareness as possible, and it's like we're smashing our head against the wall, you know. Today in Parliament, it's so painful to watch because it's such an important part. It's like gym, when you really you almost understand. It's like when you go out of a bird and you break up. What? Am I going off on one tonight? No. Listen, my point is valid. I was going to say it's like when you're going out with a bird and you break up and you really don't realise how much they meant to you. With the gym, I don't take it for granted because I never thought there'd be a situation where we'd be having to go back into lockdown. But man, it's my life, isn't it? From a content creation point of view, from a physical point of view, from a psychological point of view, you know. I'm not in a good headspace. I'm hoping I can, I don't know, get over the slump. Well, here we go, ladies and gents, the final session of what may be a 4 or a 6 or an 8 or even longer week lockdown. I hope you all have a fantastic session. Look, it's not looking too great. I watched the news yesterday and Boris is adamant that gyms and leisure facilities and golf centres, for example, are going to have to stay closed. But it makes me feel incredibly proud, you know, listening to the MPs, the local MPs stand up and say that they had hundreds of letters from their local constituents is so endearing to see. So well done. We are making a lot of noise. I think as a whole, the community has come together a lot stronger. But even if we do go into lockdown and gyms have to close, then we still continue making noise. We don't roll over. You know, look what Nick did. Nick went into lockdown, continued making noise, went on Sky, did interviews, continued to write to their local MPs, and 5 days thereafter the gyms were allowed to reopen again. So we continue to fight, but I will go into a lot more information for those when we do go into lockdown, what they can do at home and things with their diet, for example. I'll be producing a lot more YouTube content over the next 4 weeks because I have the time to do so. And we are filming today a lower session. We are back on the new split, so we've got a new training block with Callum. Every Tuesday I'll be training with Chloe because our lower sessions align. So Gigi's down at King's today and we'll be filming a lower session which should be out in a couple of weeks' time. Come on. 2. Go 2.
Come on. Good. Come on.
Yay.
Come on.
1.
Yeah, come on. Come on. Drive. At least 5.
Fuck, they're gone.
One more. Come on. With me. Done. Isn't that hell?
I don't quite know where I am. Sunday naps, 90 minutes. Always a sign of a good nap, a line on the face, followed by a Nando's. That Nando's consists of hummus, pita, chicken butterfly, chips, peas, halloumi, carrot cake. washed down with a Royal Kombucha flush. I get that meal twice a week, ready for a nice, solid week of training ahead. Back at Zone tomorrow, up at 6 out the door. It is getting very busy. Getting a little fucked off with the people that are using that gym like a sort of expo gym. You know, start to treat it with a little respect. There are members that have been going to Zone Gym for a long time, and it would get my back up. These little runts just turning up, leaving weights everywhere, rocking up in their gym's clobber. Don't do that. That's like going to an Arsenal Spurs game, sitting in the Arsenal end in a Spurs shirt. Get your fucking head kicked in. So turn up, respect the place. Don't get upset when you have to queue. Buy some of their merchandise, some of their t-shirts, buy some of their supplements, contribute, pay your day pass, and contribute to the GoFundMe as well. I'll put a link below because these fines are getting bigger and bigger. You know, £4 yesterday, £2. They're doubling every day. The council are pressing down hard. So we've got to respect Andres. We've got to respect the gym. Okay, and if he is keeping his doors open, then let's contribute and make sure that these fines can we can take the sting out of them a little bit by helping it out on our end. So I'm gonna try and get down there tomorrow and Tuesday. Rest on Wednesday. Try and see if I can get to Tenerife for a week next week. Those that are looking to travel to Tenerife, you do not have to provide a negative COVID test until the 14th of November. You also don't have to quarantine on the way home. So I'm gonna try and get out there. You know, work purposes. I need the gym, content filming, things like that. So if you can get away, get away. Joe is, I think, flying now to Dubai. Brandon Harding's over in Dubai at the moment. There's quite a few people that have flown over there. You know, no questions asked at the airport. I've been in contact with my guy, security over at Gatwick, and said, look, people are still leaving the country. I think it's more fear-mongering and scare tactics from the government, to be honest, than if you can get away, get away. You know, we saw on Saturday from their cherry-picked slides and completely sort of falsified, expired information to scare us has been debunked now. I think this whole lockdown was completely ridiculous to begin with. But on the positive, cases are looking like they're declining around the UK, and I do hope by December 2nd we can get back into our tiered system, which would mean our gyms are back open and we could have a nice solid end to the year. But try and take the next few weeks as sessions more than weeks. Psychologically, it's always a lot better to deal, or easier to deal with, when you look at this and go, look, I've got 14 sessions, 14 home sessions or whatever facility you may have to make sure we are on the money, ticking the boxes, and before you know it, we'll be back in. We did 4.5, nearly 5 months of this, so we've got it in us. I'm going to leave it there, grab my Nando's, and I'll see you sometime next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, good night. Much love.